Psychology is complex. As psychologists, our journey to understand that complexity builds a diverse set of skills for data manipulation, statistics, project management, and communication. These skills all overlap with a career in data science, making a transition from ecologist to data science an option for many. Here we interviewed 3 former biologists that had transitioned to data science to hear what they had to say about their journey.
So I grew up in a community where getting to middle school, elementary school to say, was the highest that most people attended. So everything in my life has always been, I always have a breakthrough moment that takes me from one stage to another. I never think far beyond my surroundings, but there's always a breakthrough moment that pushes me to the next. The moment I left university on that first day, I attended a workshop. I was doing pure mathematics and computer science in the university. I attended a workshop where I saw that applying mathematics, you could apply mathematics and help in something like malaria modeling. Disease as a whole, it was an international workshop, had people from Europe and Canada as well. And when I learned of malaria, then that was what triggered something in my head, because I had lost a lot of people in my community, my relatives, to that malaria. And I approached the people in that workshop and I asked them if mathematics could be used to cure malaria, could be used to fight malaria. And that's how I moved from what I was doing at my undergrad to apply mathematics, and where I went to. Fast forwarding that to my PhD at the University of Alberta. When I started my PhD in mathematical biology, at that point, which applied mathematics. At that time, again, I was not thinking far beyond. Within my head, at that point, everything has always been learn the tools that are required to fight malaria and go back and fight. Just learn the tools to fight the disease.
I enjoyed my training. I loved grad school. I did a master's at the University of Toronto and a PhD at McGill University. I loved my time there. But then, I sort of was at a fork in the road where I was like, well, I could continue to apply for academic positions, but like, what else can I do with like all of these skills that I had this opportunity to absorb and get during my graduate career? Got this opportunity to work with the MyTax Canadian Science Policy Program. So it takes you, like fresh out of grad school with a PhD, and puts you into a job with the government to see if that's something that you would like. It's like, well, it's 1 year. Let's go see what that's like. Maybe I'll hate it. Maybe it'll just be like, The Office, the show, and I'll be like, this is not for me, and I'll go back. At least it's just a year. And when I showed up, it was, there were some differences, like you're now in a sort of more of a corporate environment, but I really liked that I was able to take the skills that I learned, including my like data science skills, and apply them in a way to almost like a real world problem that had a lot of implications for like Canadians. And I just felt that, when I was doing more of academic work, I put it all in a paper and then, put it out into a journal or a preprint, and hoped that someone would read it and then do something about it. And now my job is to do something about it.
With the storm of political ebb and flow, I just didn't really see a career in science. I was offered a chance to do a PhD. I don't think I would have enjoyed it. I just didn't feel like the space where people conduct science was as collaborative as I wanted, and it was very adversarial. A lot of scientists who are the brightest minds I know, and who do work together oftentimes don't work together, and often race to get a paper out before another scientist who they are concerned is doing the same work as them. Career prospects didn't seem high. I didn't really like the adversarial nature of it, and data science seemed like a way for me to quite literally apply my skills while I was looking for other career opportunities. And I happened to stick with it because it was something that I was pretty good at, and I learned a lot of new things. And since moving from job to job, I have been able to kind of basically amass the career that I expected of myself at this point.
Each of these individuals had a unique journey into data science. and we wanted to know what advice they might have for others interested in making that leap. We asked them about skills and advice for those that might be contemplating a switch.
Be open to, you can still do research in the industry, in the government, using the skill set that you acquire, and you'll be way better because you're in management. You're great at being able to manage things. Project management is something you learn throughout your life. You have 5 years experience or more in project management. You are able to think out of the box and create ideas, which is a lot of people may not have. So there's so much you have which you can fit in the industry and fit in academia. You will be able to deliver for the country, deliver for your community, and deliver for yourself when you deliver for these people, because it makes you so happy to help government in 9 African countries to manage and contain COVID-19. And without the data science skills, I would not have been able to do that.
SQL is the most important thing you'll learn as a data scientist. Try to get at least a little bit of an engineering vernacular just try to develop the vernacular of engineering terms, like make sure that you understand a little bit about databases, make sure that you understand a little bit about the various tools you can use. There's no way to learn this unless you're in already. But like being familiar with the terminologies is useful, and watching videos and being like, oh, so this is how you gateway into a database in order to actually like query it properly using SQL. That helped me quite a bit. And I didn't even come from a SQL background. I started off coding in R.
Like, don't think like the only place that you can work at is Shopify as a senior data scientist. That's a place that you could go work, and there's many advantages to that and some disadvantages. But there's also, if you have a passion for a particular topic, your data science skills in places that you didn't think would be useful would be. And I think more and more in the government of Canada, people are recognizing that they want a candidate that has like policy knowledge or maybe scientific knowledge, but also can do data science.
The delivering value sense is very overlooked in the academic world. And so when I moved into the data science space, like I learned this the hard way, and I wasn't disciplined, let's say, but I was very like caught off guard by like how long it took me to be like, oh, I see what you want now. Because I just kept on hitting my head like, don't you understand? The Gini coefficient is extraordinary. Look at this kappa statistic. Don't you get it? And they're like, you're not telling us what the model is producing. Like, you need to be able to deliver and derive the value specifically of that model. And so really digging in and being like, okay, my model is predicting values for each item that I am building them on.
If I'm going to get a data science certificate, which are the courses that will land me a job in the industry? If in case I end up being around the 95% of PhD students that wish to end up in academia, but because of the limited spaces available, we end up not going to academia and we pick a job in the industry. If that end up being the case, what do I need to learn that can help me survive there? Now, if I have to end up in academia and use it, what do I need to learn that can help me survive in academia?
My first advice would be like, don't limit yourself in terms of like where you think those skills could be useful. And the second would be to just keep practicing them and look for different places where you can apply those skills. And there's just so many trainings available either usually through your university or your institution, so many trainings online, so many different there's accelerators that exist out there too. And so I would take the time to develop your skills as much as possible so that you don't have to spend your nights and weekends maybe to refresh those skills. Like, just really take this opportunity that you have to absorb and learn as many skills as possible.
Well, there you have some highlights about transitioning to data science from biology. If you're interested in hearing more, I really encourage you to check out the full-length interviews. Hopefully this video has been informative, and thank you for watching.